I want to thank you all for taking time to come in this early this morning for this announcement from the White House. I have a few comments to make, and then I'll open up the floor for any questions. Several weeks ago, in the early morning hours of June 17th, 5 men were arrested as they were inside the Democratic National Headquarters at the Watergate Hotel here in Washington, D.C. A few days later, it was determined that one of these men, a gentleman by the name of G. Gordon Liddy, works for the committee to re-elect the president. This, of course, fueled much speculation and gossip and innuendo, suggesting that the White House had involvement with this break-in. We announced at that time that the White House had absolutely no involvement. However, this did not stop the talk, including news stories from many sources, primarily the Washington Post here in Washington, D.C., have fueled speculation of White House involvement. Even though this is a minor incident and there are a lot of more pressing matters taking place, the president has demanded that, an internal investigation take place. So he appointed White House counsel John Dean to look into the matter and report back to him his findings. Mr. Dean interviewed sources, researched the issue, looked at memos, did a thorough investigation of the matter, and came back to the president and reported there was absolutely no White House involvement with this alleged break-in at the Watergate Hotel. Too many people have pressed this matter for too long a time. There's a lot of things going on in this world. We still have an issue in Vietnam we've got to take care of. The Russians have done several nuclear tests recently. There's a lot of things going on in the world. This little 2-bit break-in into the Watergate Hotel should not be this focus of our news sources. The president strongly wants to urge everyone to know that the White House had absolutely no involvement in this issue. The White House would never have any involvement in such an issue. However, he will, and the White House does, take responsibility because this issue happened on their watch. As Harry Truman once said, the buck stops here. It doesn't matter that he had no involvement, that the White House had no involvement, that this is not a major issue. The White House will take responsibility for the actions because they're the top dog. They're the ones in charge. We want to also assure the American people that we will continue to focus on making sure that nothing like this happens again. And as time warrants, and if the issue is required, we will make sure and bring this to the focus of the press corps here. That's basically all that has to be said about this matter, because, like I say, it's a minor matter and we want to move on. So, at this time, I'll open the floor for any questions anybody in the press may have. I will address them to the best of my ability. Yes, the gentleman from the blah, blah, blah paper.
So you said the White House appointed John Dean, who works for the White House. Why wasn't an independent party assigned to do this investigation?
It wasn't necessary. This is more of an internal housekeeping issue to see, did something happen? Were there people involved that should not have been involved? Was there a miscommunication? We are of the impression that these people were misguided. Yes, Gordon Liddy does work for the committee to re-elect the president. They acted on their own volition. It's someone who took too much power and went the wrong course, and there was not need for independent counsel. Independent counsel takes up too much of the Americans' time and too much away from other issues that are going on right now. If something happens in the future, we'll make sure and do the right course. Anyone else have a question? Yes, madam.
You said the Watergate Hotel?
Yes, ma'am.
So when I hear Watergate, I instantly think Nixon, because there was such an issue. And it had to do with searching files to know more about what was going on with the competitor. How does this relate, your speech?
We have no information at this time of any searching files. All we know is these gentlemen supposedly broke into the hotel, into the offices at the hotel. There's no other information regarding any type of search of files or records or anything like that. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Several times during your during your speech, you mentioned that this is a minor issue. Perhaps the break-in itself was a minor issue, but many of us here in the room and many people in the country feel that the issue isn't break-in. It's the cover-up of the involvement, potential involvement of the president himself.
Yes.
What do you have to say?
We appreciate your comments, we appreciate your thoughts. However, there has been no cover-up. This happened only a few weeks ago. We did our research, we're reporting our findings. There has been no cover-up to the public. The news is out there. We're not starting any way to stop the news from happening. The Washington Post, Mr. Woodward and Mr. Bernstein at the Post have relayed several stories about the matter. We have not tried to stop them from relating these stories or anyone else, but these are stories. Nothing has been proven, and except for the fact that a burglary happened, but the White House did not have anything to do with that burglary. The White House did not have anything to do with the burglary. Any other questions? Yes, madam.
What was stolen? If it was a burglary, that means something.
Well, from what I understand, I'm not privy to the police report immediately in front of me. From what I understand, nothing happened. They found them in there at the time, but nothing was taken. I guess they found them before any kind of other action could be taken. Let's be quite honest. If this White House had wanted to do this type of action, I think we all agree that the White House has resources to get, let's face it, better burglars. These guys muffed the job. And so I don't make light of the issue of what happened, and it's a very serious issue. But if the White House wanted to do something like that, they had the resources to get people who wouldn't have been caught with nothing in their hands. So, any other questions? Okay, I thank you for your time. As I say, if any other issues come up regarding this, we will report them as soon as possible to you. We're an open presidency. We will make sure and keep the people involved. You can rely on that. That is why Mr. Nixon's approval rating at the current time is as high as it's ever been and one of the highest ever. So we thank you for your time. If you have any other questions, please send them on to the press secretary. Thank you very much.